Okay, hello everyone, and welcome again back to our continued videos looking at how to make our augmented reality iPad app within Unity. So last week we actually got our basic augmented reality functions working within our Unity project. And so what I'm going to do is just open that back up again. Okay, so working off from last week's files here, go into your scenes again, navigate to your AR camera scene.unity file, double click that and open it up. Okay, so back in Unity now, our project is opened up, and again we're in our augmented reality camera scene. If I was to have a look at, again, our layout or our setup, what we have here just in 2D mode, you can just click out of that if you want by clicking on that 2D button up here. If we have our directional light and our camera for our AR camera here, and on this, underneath that we have an image target, which we know is our astronaut by default, which is one of the Vuforia image targets. And we attached a cube to that, so we basically put a cube in. Alright, and so within our scene we have our cube and our image target here. Your cube might be sitting underneath the image target like so. If it's like that, you can just sort of get varied results with how it tracks to the image. So let's just play this and see how it goes. So you'll see webcam start up, I will appear, hello, and then obviously you can look through your image target to see whether your cube appears. Now you can see there my cube is kind of glitching on screen. It's a little bit out of the field of our target. I'm just going to stop this now. What you can do to try and fix that is to make sure that your cube is actually sitting directly underneath the image target. So just click and drag it inside there like so. If you go to File and save your project now and try again, that might be able to fix it and get it working. Okay, so just getting target to track. Okay, if it doesn't work immediately, just again, make sure you save your scene as well, and just keep trying and play. You can see here that, again, your webcam starts up. Okay, we can load our image target in, and there's our cube working nicely. Our image target, just like last time. So again, that's working better there, just because we have our cube situationed, sitting underneath our image target, like so. Okay. So what we're going to focus on this week is actually getting some custom 2D animation to play, first of all with our default Vuforia target, and then we're going to swap that over to a unique image of your own. So what I'm going to do is actually essentially replace my cube with a 2D animation. Okay, so before I do that, I need to make one more item. Use GameObject, 2D object, sprite. All right, and that's going to put in a sprite object into our scene. Now this is going to be called a new sprite. It's going to be empty, but let's give it a name. And you might call this animation 1 or sequence 1, or even a more unique name for your sequence. I'm going to call mine Dino Animation or Dino Anim, just because I know that mine's going to be an animation of the dinosaur. And then what I'm going to do is click and drag this up underneath the image target as well. Okay. And it's just the next thing to do is to essentially add something onto this sprite. So it's empty at the moment. You can see under Sprite Renderer, next to Sprite there, it says None Sprite. This is where I can bring in my animation images. So this is where you're going to start to actually bring in your animation frames that you've created in other software into Unity, ready to stock up and ready to play. So what I'm going to do is navigate and find my sprites folder. Double click on that in my assets folder there. I'm going to import in all the frames and animations from my animation sequence. So I'm going to find my animation folder where I outputted all the frames for my sequence. Okay, so here's Dino, for example. Here's all the images from the animation sequence. And again, you can have up to a maximum of 120 for this. Click and drag them into Unity like so. And mine has actually automatically converted these to sprites. You can see that the thumbnail preview here has a little arrow there. You can see that their texture type is Sprite 2D and UI. Okay, so if you import your sprites and they look like this, what you need to do is just make sure that under texture type, you change them to the type of Sprite 2D and UI. With them all selected, click Apply. That will go through the process and just export and change them all, ready to work within our app. Okay, so now under my Dino Anim here, click on None Sprite. I'm just going to choose the first image of the sequence. Okay, and you can see there it is, there's my dino. Now it's a little bit big, so I'm actually going to scale it down. Okay, so something like a 0.5. Just remember to do that for all the values. Maybe even a little bit smaller, 0.2. Okay, so just resizing it. And then the next thing I need to do is to obviously orient it flat, like so. Okay, and I just want to reposition it so that it's sort of flat on the 3D plane, not too far in front, because again, this will be shown within the 3D space of our camera as it renders. Okay, so it's important just to sort of look at it, see how it navigates and sits on your image target. Now you probably have to customize this for each image target and animation sequence you're working on. Don't be afraid to muck around with this and get it right, but obviously working with the first frame of the animation is really good guidance. I'm just going to choose File now and save my scene, and File, Save Project. So this is only the one image of my animation sequence. Alright, so what I want to do is essentially add in the rest of the animated frames. Now we looked at this a couple of weeks ago. What we're going to do is essentially convert this to an animation that just plays. With my Dino Anim selected, I'm going to go up to the Window menu and I'm going to choose Animation. And that's going to bring this pop-up window here. And what I like to do, because this window tends to sort of hide behind everything else, I'm going to actually click into Unity and resize it so I can see a little bit of Unity, the main program on the left-hand side here. And then I'm going to bring up the window, animation window, and actually pop it on the right-hand side over here like so. Okay, it just makes it really easy to click into. And as you can see here, it's saying, if I just open that out, to begin animating Dino Anim, create an animator and an animation clip. Alright, so I'm going to do that just over here by choosing Create. Okay, and what I'm going to do is drop down this arrow, and really this view that I'm looking at of my assets, my animations, audio, etc., is the exact same as these folders down here. So I want my animation to be saved in my animations folder, so just make sure you select that, and I'm going to call this Dino Anim. And just click Save. Alright, and now I can work within the animation window itself to export in and save any kind of frames and animation sequences for this animation. So I can now go back to my sprites folder, holding Shift, click, and select all of my frames, and I can then click and drag them across into the main window here, just like so. And you can press the little play button up here, and that will show a preview of the animation playing. Okay, so there it is playing. If it's playing a bit fast, again, set it to the frame rate you animated it at, so 25 for example, or 30 or whatever you want to work with. Okay, and that's as simple as getting an animation to play back within Unity. Right, you can close that window once you've created it. Again, choose File, Save Scene, File, Save Project. Okay, now I'm just going to move my Dino Anim very slightly across and just again save there. Now because we have our 2D animation actually overlaid over the top of my astronaut image target, I probably don't need the cube anymore. That was just a test to get it working. So just right click and delete your cube, save your project, and now we can press play and just see if this works with our astronaut image target. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to bring in my astronaut image target like so. Yep, and then we have my animation playing simply like so. Okay, so you're going to have to put in 3 animations or 3 animation sequences, right, just like that, that actually work with a unique image target for both, or for all of them, I should say. Okay, and it's a matter of repeating that process and getting them to work.